Hi there, my name is Zilar. This is my channel, Zilar Groselha, that means Zilar Gooseberry in Portuguese. And I'm here to share some news on my homemade, non-profit project, custom cards for Spellfire. Right from the start, I gotta say, if you don't know me, if this is your first visit or not, please give me a hand here. Click, attack, raise, disintegrate that like button and subscribe the channel. This simple action will actually make me know you're interested in this kind of video, and I will put me on a quest for creating more videos about Spellfire. So I want to share with you the ideas I'm about to use on my Spellfire cards. But before I get to the news and the general idea of this video, I would like to have a recap of this saga. Like I said on my last video, I've started this project because I love playing tabletop and card games, and I was trying to find a game to play with my wife here. So that was it. My initial quest was about trying to convince her to play something else than other games that she's not willing to play with me because they're too complicated, like Alien Frontiers, Oh My Goods, or Merchants and Marauders. So I thought about the 90s collectible card games that I had and I've kept all these years with me. So between Battletech CCG, and I'm a huge fan, I really want to revisit this game, Imagination, and some other card games from that time, Spellfire was the answer. Well, first of all, it's D&D, and she started to like D&D since we've played a couple of sessions of the 3rd edition, and I thought, okay, Spellfire, it's pretty straightforward, especially about the winning conditions, and there are not a lot of card types, so that was it. And I gotta say, I've chosen Spellfire despite having a lot of bizarre gaming experiences back in the day. I still remember people shouting at each other and even getting physical just because back in 1996, the rules were really confusing for us, especially some card interactions. That being said, the final balance still was, I think we can have a game that both of us enjoy playing. And it's totally worth giving a shot revisiting the game, especially with someone I love. So it was all set. She agreed on learning how to play and give a shot on this little game of mine. However, when I got to open my dusty card box with all my Spellfire cards, I had a most unpleasant surprise. Definitely something was lost during our last moving, and by something I mean my 3 or 4 main decks. All my best cards. After this, I've changed my mind, so I started to think about, okay, I'm gonna create some customs, but let's see how this is done. And being a member of the Facebook group Spellfire Players, by the way, if you love Spellfire and you're not a member, go there and join them. It is a great community. So I recall some posts there of a French dude called Tribolati Xavier, and this guy creates awesome customs only for himself. His fan-made sets were all about holiday-themed cards, like Christmas set, Halloween set, St. Patrick's, you get an idea. And the most important thing, they look awesome. And seriously, there's a lot of customs online, but in most cases I take a look and think, okay, nice job, bro. But Tribolati's customs are really the work of a talented guy. Not only because of the art selection, but ideas behind the theme of each card and so on and so on. And there was a huge fact here. His customs were actually printed and they look awesome. So obviously I got curious as hell to know where I had to go to get my customs. So I've reached him, and just like other awesome guys there, showed me the way for actually printing some good quality cards. By the way, thanks a lot again, Tribolati. And that's how I've started creating my customs, a fan-made 100 non-profit set. This set is by far not an official project, pretty obvious, but you never know. I don't know how this internet and content creating thing works, but I've started my project. So after a lot of searching, lore reading, and even mid-journey sessions, I've got a set of cards to print. That set is the one I've showed on my last video, and this set is the one that I've been posting about on the Facebook group for like the past 2 months. It had like a total of 255 custom cards. Counting with a lot of second and even third copies of Master Cards, my order had more than 900 cards. It was a big change for me. So I've sent my order to this company and all went well. All files were looking good, payment was received, but there was a problem, and this problem is related to shipping issues, especially from Mexico, where the company is at, and my country, Brazil. So now I gotta find a new solution, and the new solution, it's related with finding a friend that can actually receive the package abroad, not in Brazil, and then I'm gonna wait until this guy, this good friend of mine, a former colleague from college or a former co-worker, come back to Brazil. Because of that, my best chance on getting my cards and my custom cards will not come earlier than August. That's why we're here discussing new ideas about these custom cards. With so much time to spare, I thought about putting some extra seasoning on my custom Spellfire cards. So if before I was creating cards that were 9% compatible with the official game, I must be honest, now they are about to look more as a mod or a redesign than the standard custom cards that we can see online. And they're not better or worse than the other cards. It's just my way of seeing things and my thoughts and wishes about playing Spellfire the way I've always dreamed. For that, I really apologize to any of you guys on the Spellfire players group. I still intend to make the whole set available for download on my website, but I know this won't be exactly what somebody looking for custom Spellfire cards is going for. Well, enough of storytelling, let's dig in on what I intend to do. The main differences, and I gotta say that they are not the only difference in the set, but the main differences about the set will be related to two main features: the Faith and Alignment icon and the Pantheon Deck. First, let's talk about the Faith and Alignment icons. So champions, allies, realms, and even holding cards will show this icon that can be presented in 3 colors. Whitish for good alignment and good aligned deities, gray for neutral alignment and neutral aligned deities, and this off-red for evil alignment and evil aligned deities. Not only that, champions and allies have a text descriptor of which deity they worship. This pair of information, icon color and the described deity, means that champion or ally have an alignment, use together faith resources, and he, she, it's a worshipper or a cleric if he's a worshipper and a cleric on its cycle of a certain or some gods. So on Faith 3, when we put champions, magical items, and artifacts in our champions pool, a player now have a special action to perform with any of his clerics. This action will be called Worship. Instead of attacking on Phase 4, that cleric is sent to Limbo to worship, returning to the pool on the beginning of his next turn. And this is where the Pantheon Deck enters. It is a separate deck built with cards from both players designed to perform various tasks along the game. However, let's discuss now Pantheon's deck's first purpose: worship and the attempt of getting a deity helping your side of the table. No matter how many clerics you have in your pool, only one worship action will be performed on each turn. It seems silly to limit this action to once per turn, but don't worry. All the other clerics can definitely make the difference in this action. You will see. Like I said, the idea here is to try to bring a divine favor from a particular deity, and that it is inside the Pantheon deck. So I'll explain that in details later. Declaring the worship action means that player declares that clerics worship the deity described on its card. So now, where do you find this information? Pretty easy, it's written on this card, just like on everybody else in the set. The difference between a cleric of, let's say, Saloon and a hero, monster, or other champion with the same Saloon inscription is the champions and allies that are not clerics are just considered worshippers. This is gonna be useful because a lot of deities interact with its worshippers and also interact with the worshippers of their sworn enemy gods. In this case, you can imagine Saloon can help her worshippers, and she can give bonus for her worshippers to fight against Shar worshippers. And another thought here, I'm still thinking about the idea of also letting paladins and druids perform the worship action too, because I'm gonna put this description on some cards. So please let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Is it a good idea? Is it not? Please let me know. So back to the example, we have the Cleric of Gum declaring the worship action. His owner counts how many neutral faith icons he has on the table because his cleric has a neutral alignment, so this is the right resource to find Gone, and here we have 3 in total. This man, in this action, this player will reveal the first 3 cards of the Pantheon deck. If one of them is gone, jackpot, the worship deity now comes to his side. I call this Ascension, and to make things more competitive, the idea is here to provoke conflict. So only one deity can be ascended on the table. So you can imagine situations like, okay, my friend has Mr. on his side, wait a minute, I think I can ascend some other deity. It's far from perfect, but at least I'm gonna take Mr.'s away from his table. And now he has no longer her powers to aid him. And another observation. The Pantheon deck is absolutely cyclic. When it ends, it's discard pile, receive, shuffle, and it begins all over again. So if you lose the window to take advantage of that deity you want to use on your game, don't sweat, worship and force that deck, spending the remaining cards and recover your deity as a real possibility. So after this explanation, I think it's time to take a look on the deity card in detail. This is a deity card. And here I can share with you how the rest of this dynamic works. This is the deity alignment color. That's the faith resource color you need to gather and spend. On the other side, we have a pretty important information. It's the destiny number. This number is my replacement to a mechanic found on a lot of cards from the classic Spellfire cards. That mechanic can be described in general like this text. Draw a card and note its last digit. If it is blah blah blah. And I really praise what they tried to do after first edition, especially taking into consideration the fact Spellfire's game design for the first edition was rushed just to go with that new CCG thing and compete with Magic the Gathering. I get the idea. I understand what happened back in the day. But I have a new chance here with my cards. So I really want to replace that mechanic and other mechanics with one sole system. So the destiny number is about this. It is used every time a card needs a random result, and this reflects on the amount of text characters needed to describe this action. To me, that expression will be replaced by an action called Scry, just like the Scry skill from D&D 3rd edition. If the card tells you to Scry, it is telling you to reveal the top card of the Pantheon deck and check its destiny number. Continuing, below the faith and the alignment icon, we can see a series of ally icons with different numbers. Each battle, the top card of the Pantheon deck is revealed, so this is another usage for the Pantheon deck. First usage was to worship a god, trying to bring him and his powers to your side of the table. The second usage was destiny. Every time you gotta use some sort of power that needs a random thing going on, this is replaced in this set for a scry action. The third usage for this deck is actually the influence that gods might or might not have on each battle. So each battle reveal the top card of the Pantheon Deck, and you check who's gonna win each bonus. So this first icon with a lesser bonus is about alignment. Each side of the battle counts how many cards in this battle have that icon color, like how many guys in this battle on my side are good aligned or have good alignment cards like artifacts, and how many of those my opponent has. And the winner gets this bonus on his battle total. It is important to notice this bonus can switch sides while the battle progresses, while players are bringing new cards with a proper alignment. And this brings some dispute, I think, making the alignment bonus go back and forth between the two sides of the battle. But let's see now what's going on with this purple ally icon. The second icon is about clerics. Each side counts how many clerics of that deity he has. So the winner gets this bonus on his battle total. And at last, the bluish like gradient icon, it's about the chosen champions or the champions of that deity. And this is my substitute for avatars. Sorry, I'm not an avatar fan. For this set, I don't want to see them. I think they are pretty broken, and I've never had any kind of fun using avatars. So this icon is about the substitution between avatars and this whole notion of having people like champions and allies chosen by some deity. It's pretty simple. If you have a guy that is a chosen or a champion of that deity and the other side is none, you get that bonus. And the last thing to say about this battle bonus, because every battle we're gonna like open a card and see who gets what. Any ties in these disputes means that nobody gets that bonus. And there's another thing. Also, these bonuses, they can stack. So it's possible to try like a wombo combo, grabbing for yourself the alignment bonus, the cleric bonus, and they're pretty possible. And even the chosen bonus, I don't know how. I can see this happening now, but you know what? To me, this kind of situation is one of the Spellfire specialties. And at last, for the main informations, we have the text box describing that deity's powers and effects. This is my substitute for rule cards, and this is what you get when you find your deity performing worship actions. And this text is the cherry on top of what you get when you find your deity and assign it to your side, just like I said. And I say the cherry because there's another outcome of having a card with you. Not only this text is gonna affect the game, especially giving you advantage, but in matter of fact, you get like an option on each battle to choose which card you want to use for your battle bonuses, for clerics, for alignment, and even for the chosen champions. And the last information is a solution to another problem I personally see on Spellfire. It's the time of the day. Cards like those wizards on Dragonlance, and including wrestling, oh my god, and even odd-looking dudes try to look as vampires, if you know what I mean. And I always hated these cards. Why? Pretty simple. Just because it depends on the time of the day you're actually playing the game. Like, wait, it's almost 6 p.m. Let's wait just 10 minutes. No. To me, this was just a bad joke. So now each deity brings the time period of the day. I've tried my best to balance it. So the fun part is that we have this information distributed, not randomly, but I hope thematically. Oh my god, that's why Portuguese is my mother language. I'm struggling here. Sorry. Well, the fun part is I intend to put this with different periods of time. So each battle, when we draw a Pantheon card to see the influence of that battle, This also means that the time of that battle is different every single time. And this covers almost everything I intend to do with the whole Pantheon scene. Since the stack influences both players, I gotta tell you how this stack is built. And the plan is each player will select one deity from each destiny card, drawing from 0 to 9 or 0 to 10. I'm not pretty sure right now. And it doesn't matter if you want to mix up Forgotten Realm deities with Greyhawk, for instance. And obviously, I'm gonna try my best to force every player to have like the 3 alignments working as intended on every single possible combination of a set of 1 to 9 or 0 to 9. You get the idea. And so the 2 sequential decks, they're gonna be shuffled, and there is our Pantheon deck. This is a more tabletop modern approach to the game. I know it's odd, but you know what? If somebody download the cards in the future and wanna play, don't worry bro, just use different colors for your sleeves, right? No problem at all. And far from perfect, I know. This is something I'm really excited about, but I know these can be really strange to you, especially if you like Zilar for the classic Spellfire. But this is why I'm excited. I've just explained to you that I intend to use this new Pantheon deck and these features, these new mechanics, to put together some pieces of the original game, like avatars, rule cards, the random number thing, and even time of the day mechanic. And yeah, I think it brings more relevancy to clerics, worshippers, and clearly during battles we'll have luck factor playing some role on the outcomes. And another thing I gotta tell you, if you're a huge D&D fan and you're right now thinking about, okay, how this is gonna work for godforsaken worlds like Ravenloft and Darksun, because they actually don't have like a pantheon. Well, I have some ideas, and please write a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts about. Thanks a lot. That's it. You've had me this far and my English skills. So please hit the like button, leave your opinions on this custom set of rules, and consider subscribing to the channel. This would mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching this video, and I see you around. Bye!